Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the DC Multiverse Super Friends version of Batman, which is essentially a DCUC Batman with a cloth cape and a nice little new pack in. So, you know, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about, but you guys know I've reviewed most of the DCUC figures. I own all of them. I had to get this one. I may get the rest. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to take a look at it. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Before we look at the figure, I just want to show you guys it's a very small batch of figures for the Super Friends line. We just have Superman, Lantern, and Aquaman, and of course Batman. I've seen two Batmans and one Green Lantern. I didn't buy him, and then I forgot to go back to buy Lantern, and now he's gone. But I don't know what these guys look like at all, so I'm going to have to check it out. If you guys have any, let me know what you think about them. But yeah, of course I had to get Batman, although of the two I saw, this one was painted pretty nicely, and the other one had all kinds of scratches and smudges and stuff, so be aware of that. But yeah, these are based on Super Friends, so it's kind of a nice little throwback, even though this line has suffered to some extent. I thought this would be a cool one to get. So there's a little bit of useless information I probably shouldn't have bothered sharing. He stands just shy of 7 inches, a little over 6 3/4 to the top of his ears, which makes him about 17.5 centimeters. So yeah, it's DCUC Batman all over again. He's got the darker blue this time. He does have the black forehead, so that's pretty cool. I do like it. The nose is not painted black, so that's kind of a nice touch. And he has this cloth cape, which I was surprised by. It's not like the best quality cloth cape ever, but they did a good job. It has the really nice Batman fringe on the bottom, and then the neck piece is so reminiscent of those old 90s toys. It is exactly like it used to be. So it just kind of clips onto the neck, and hey, they filled the hole in the actual mold. That's cool. So yeah, it just clips onto the neck, and it makes him look okay. And the way it's done is you can kind of put it over the shoulders a little bit. So I like it. It's definitely not anything like incredibly impressive, but it's nicely done. It's nice and saturated, nice cloth, and the way it clips on looks okay. So we'll leave it there. He does have a few other accessories. We have a standard gray Batarang, which is pretty lousy. They should have made it silver or black or something other than this light gray. Then we do have his grapnel gun, which does have the actual rope on it, but again, it's kind of like a cheap plastic and lousy gray. And then we have the display stand, which I'm going to actually hold while I talk about, because it has the Super Friends rainbow in the background, but it has this cool holographic finish to it with the nice artwork on there, and it's actually a really nice card. Most of these cards that have been for these bases, for these various figures, like the Adam West ones had this, they were really lousy material, but this one's really, really nice, and it does have the back is for the Super Friends logo, so if you get all four, you can do that, but the card stock is really, really nice. And then we also have the Super Friends sticker down here with a peg, and you actually get a little bit of a rainbow effect on the base just from this reflecting. So it's a cool little pack, and it's going to be a nice little display. If you wanted to do that, it would be kind of silly. I don't really get that because he blocks the card entirely. But if you wanted to just maybe pose him in front of it on your shelf, that would be a cool idea. So yeah, it's not too bad. If you're going to get a cardstock thing, it's not a bad one to get. So the paint job on this guy, it's not great, it's not bad, it's pretty standard. You know, the boots are a little sloppy around the edges, same thing for the trunks. I don't know if most people know this, but most of the DCUC figures that have the trunks, it's not actually sculpted in. There are some fake wrinkles, not fake, but there are some sculpted wrinkles right here, so that when they do paint the trunks, it looks okay, and then when they want to not paint the trunks, they don't have to worry about it. So they're kind of tricky with that, but it does make the paint job suffer a little bit. The gloves, again, not the best paint job in the line work. Luckily, the face on this guy was painted pretty cleanly, so that's good, though it is a little bit glossy around the mouth area. The Bat logo, it's good enough. It's mostly clean, but you can see the ears are kind of rounded off instead of pointy, so be aware of that. Articulation, pretty standard for the DCUC figures. He doesn't have the best range up and down. He can only look down a little bit, which is okay. It was kind of hit or miss with these figures, so I kind of expected that. Pretty much just going to get a neck swivel, and it kind of makes the cape pop off as the chin pushes it, so you're going to have to be careful. For the shoulders, it's pretty much your standard ball hinge. This is the medium build body, so it works just fine. You get the arms out horizontally, full range all the way around like that. Bicep swivel's fine, single jointed elbow. and then your wrist swivel. So yeah, very basic figures, nothing particularly impressive. These are really just for if you want this kind of classic looking Batman. That's why it's a good thing to get. Ab crunch on this one, it was kind of stiff, but it loosened up a little bit as I messed with it, but still doesn't want to work that well. It feels like it's going to end up getting loose as I mess with it, so be aware you may have problems with the ab crunch, but otherwise it's functional. For the waist twist, it happens above the belt, and the belt does not really move, so be aware. It's going to kind of slide over the top, and it could scratch the top of the buckle. Be aware of that. The buckle is actually painted a yellow on top of the molded yellow, so that's kind of a nice little touch. The hips don't go all that far forward, but it's probably far enough. A little bit loose, though. Be aware of that. A lot of things to be aware on this one. It's almost like there was a show called Beware the Batman. Was there? I think there was. I could be going crazy, though. Then the hips do go all the way out to the side, but they are DCUC hips, so if you don't have something hiding it, it's not the best looking joint in the world. Thigh swivel happens all the way down here. It's a very dated look, but it is what it is, so I can't really fault it. I bought it knowing that it's not a great design, and I'm not in love with it, but it is a DCUC figure, so it is about 15 years old, I guess, right? Nah, probably more like 12. Anyway, the ankles just have a hinge. Pretty good range, but no ankle rocker, so very basic figure. It's not meant for everybody. If you didn't like the DCUC figures, this is one of them, just repackaged and repainted. So yeah, it's not impressive, but it is good enough, and I'm happy to have it. I think most Batman fans will probably want to pick one up. Just be aware of those issues, and I think you'll be okay. It's a fun figure, and that's about it. So that's how you should probably go into it. Yeah, it's good enough. I don't feel like I got ripped off or anything, but I'm not impressed necessarily. So I'll stop rambling and end it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.